Yes, my friends. I just wanted to talk about love. See, there are many definitions of love that are circulating around and floating around in the world. You see, you hear people talking about love. You see, this is what it means, that is what it means. You have a poet's definition of love, you have a psychological explanation of love, you have a scientific explanation of love. You have so many very varying explanations of love, and very few people go to the roots to find out where these people got these definitions. They just follow them because it's something nice to believe in, you see. But the truth is that, you know, all these definitions of love, Hollywood's definition of love, and at the end of it, my friends, human love is a failure. You see, why do I say that human love is a failure? My friends, human love is a failure because it cannot overcome death, and any love that cannot overcome death is temporary, and it is subject to change. If the consequences are too big, then it cannot survive. It will fail. You see, so this is what very few people fail to understand. You see, they go around saying love and they feel good. It's like one of those moments where you sit in front of the Christmas tree, like in a movie, you know, and you're cuddling, and that's what people think love is. My friends, it's easy to love somebody when things are going well, you see. But if you look at Job's wife and you saw what happened to Job, you see what she said to him. You know, if you can remember that to yourselves and think about it. That's not to say, oh, his wife like this. No. Every human being, when the consequences get too high, they will not exhibit love, but that love will turn to hate. It will turn to hatred, it will turn to fear, it will turn to so many different mutations. You see? Because it only thinks about this world and now. You see? It doesn't think about forever. So its actions are temporary. Its actions are very, very temporary. You see, and when you take a human being, and let's say a man and a woman who are married, and the woman's mother, and they end up in a situation where the woman has to choose between the love of the man or the woman. It's a very difficult choice, and you cannot know. You see, your love will be tested. You see, and it's this kind of tests that I'm talking about, that if the fire of the intensity of those tests increase, they will fail and crumble and turn to ash. You see? So if you're honest with yourself, my friends, you know, think about it. Because we're only nice to a certain degree. You've lived certain lives where some of us, we've lived good lives, you know, where we have been taken care of, you know, and that's, you know, it's a good thing, you know. But the thing with it is that, you know, the real test of your love will come when everything falls apart. What happens? You see, my friends, when everything falls apart, when everything goes into the ditch, when everything falls to the ground, then it will be the test of whether you have love or not. You see, when everything goes wrong, then we'll see how much you will say the same things, how much you will try and follow after the same things which you were saying what love is, the poetic definition, so and so's definition, so on and so forth. You see, so people don't they don't realize, because they never been through these things. So my friends, in all this talking of love and the definitions, the chemical definition, and what happens to your chemistry when you have exhibit love, and what so and so is saying, the truth is that all of this is a failure. You see, you cannot trust in yourself, and you cannot trust in human nature. You see, because human nature is very much subject to change depending on the severity of the circumstance. There are some people, they have a higher tolerance, they have a higher capability to withstand things. and there are people that have a zero capability to withstand things, but this doesn't matter. Because at the end of it, what matters is the love of God. If you abide in the love of God, you will forgive people that do not deserve forgiveness. And you will correct people that everybody thinks are nice people, but they are doing certain things that are wrong. You see? Because the love of God is eternal. It sees all things. You see? The difference with the love of the world is that it is not of this world. The love of God is of a kingdom that is not made by men. You see, it cannot be held within the constraints of the flesh. So that's why you have to die to the flesh to attain more of this love. You see, when you die to the flesh, you are dying to human love, because human love, a lot of it is catered to just life in the world. You see, I want my body to be okay. I want my mind to be okay. When these things, everything is okay, then you can have a good time, you see. You have a good time, you have a nice time, we go, we do this, we do that, you know, I will remember that time, you see. And then in some cases you have people that are willing and many of this has happened to me. Some people who don't even follow after Jesus Christ, you know, they're following other things. They have helped me out in hard times. It was a lesson to me, to show me that many of the hearts of the people, who many so-called Christians, they condemn them, actually exhibit more godly tendencies than Christians themselves. I've been taught that lesson in life. I had nowhere to go one time and nowhere to stay. I was on the street, and some guys who in my heart was calling sinners, they actually helped me out, you see, and they give me a place to stay. They didn't charge me no money, you know. So it's really it was a wake up call, you know. God was showing me something about which people exhibit. Show me you saw the story of the Good Samaritan. You know, many people know the story. Oh, this is what happened, that's what happened, but it's not real to them, because they never went through that, you see. So you start to realize that, hey man, this is for real. When these things start happening to you in your life, as it happened to many disciples and to Jesus himself, and the stories of Jesus, when they come real to you, then you begin to understand the love of God. You see, and how much He wants the sinners to come into the road to salvation. You see. So, my friends, godly love is very, very different. It overcomes death. You see, it overcomes time, space, causes, the theories of men, and it teaches you to close your eyes to this world, so that your eyes can be opened into a world that human beings cannot see, of which that kingdom, which is invisible, human beings have not built, but it is being built by God Himself. You see. So when you live in the love of God, you are not seeing the things of the world the way the world sees them. You're seeing them with the eyes of the kingdom that is coming. You see. So the truth is that worldly love, or human love, it has to be submitted. Human love has to be submitted to the love of God. You see. And that is when we will be able to overcome all these things in people. I mean, think about it, my friends. If Saul, who was the murderer, went around killing and killed one of your family, how would you be able to love this man? You see, it is almost impossible, you know, that you would not want to commit vengeance on this guy if you see him. The only way you can do this, my friends, is if the Spirit of God, if you are connected to the Spirit of God, and He fills you with His love, which is capable of forgiving the worst of all sinners. You see, the worst of all kinds of murderers, all kinds of people, whatever you name them, you know, serial killer, all these things, they can be forgiven by the love of God, but by human love we cannot. You see, so many of these people who are living in this fake cocoon, which they just label as love, you know, you need to wake up, my friends, because this love, it is an illusion. It's a delusion, actually. You see, that the world is feeding people that, oh, we need love in the world and there will be no war. And what they don't tell you is that the love of the world is actually the reason for war. You see? They don't tell you that same thing that people call love can easily, it's half good and half bad. You see? It's like the human beings themselves. They have the capability to do good and they have the capability to do bad in them. The only way they can keep doing good is if they submit to the love of God. You see, this is how you can submit. Then you won't be owned by lands, by physical living. Yeah, because people, they want to do what it takes to keep living in this world. You see, because they are afraid of death. You see, and they have only perceived one definition of life, which is a physical one, which is the one that teaches you about life in this world. But they never received a life whose author and finisher is not man or the spirits that run the world, but whose author and finisher is life itself. You see, they follow after temporary ways, but they don't follow the way himself. They follow after relative truth, but they don't follow after the truth himself. Who is this person? This is Jesus Christ, my friend. Jesus Christ was the ultimate symbol of God's love. But look what he did. He died. He did not fight. He did not seek vengeance. He did not seek his own will. He did not follow after all things. You know, many times the disciples misunderstood him. In the beginning, they did not understand. They understood later. Because his love was not human. His words were not fleshly and human. His words were godly and spiritual. That's why it took the understanding of God to open up people's eyes and minds and hearts to perceive the words of Jesus Christ and the way of Jesus Christ and the life of Jesus Christ and the truth that he brought into this world. Why did he bring that? Because he loved the world. He wanted the world to be saved. Most Christianity thinks they are saved because they are following the world's definition of love. And this love is going to fall, because when things go awry, that love fails, my friends. It fails. I'm telling you, trust me. I've been in many predicaments in my life, and I began to realize that in human love, in human strength, it turns and it morphs into a beast. It morphs into an animal. It morphs into hatred, angers, and vengeance. You see? But when this human love is submitted to godly love, then, my friends, we are able to overcome being crucified. We are able to overcome when people accuse you falsely, you don't defend yourself. We're able to turn the other cheek. We're able to do all these things, my friends. But trust me, we are not able to do these things if we dwell in a half-truth. You see, human love. When everything is good, hey, you know, you're willing to say all nice things. You see? But when everything goes, things start to follow, then it gets tested, it lasts a little bit, and then it fails. It just depends on the degree. You know, you take one man, he lived a good life, he loved his parents, he loved his family, and all of a sudden, you know, you take away these things that helped him. You see, his family, maybe they you know, somebody crashed into them, then something else went wrong, and something else went wrong, and then finally he said, I can't keep doing this, and he's right. In his own strength, he cannot keep doing these things. It's God who saves us from these consequences, my friend. But at the same time, he allows them sometimes, because otherwise we dwell in something that is so chameleon-like. It morphs from one thing to another. And we don't understand because we haven't faced the circumstances that will challenge them. And we're not just obedient, you see, from the beginning. And so, my friends, it's my advice to you is to forsake human love and submit it to godly love. Forsake all these things. Don't trust in yourself. Don't trust in human nature. You see, you have to trust in only those things that are submitted to the Spirit of God, to the love of God. See, because Jesus Christ, it say he came from the bosom of God. He came from God's heart, which is his love, his mercy. See, his mercy to the world, his road to salvation. See, my friends, follow after this love. Keep his commandments, is what he said. If you love him, keep his commandments, and he will reveal himself to you, and it will become live and real.